Hello girls and squirrels, happy Friday and welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. Today's video is going to be all about the overall fashion trends for fall and winter 2022. In my previous trends video, I did the decades, aesthetics, colors, and prints that were all on trend. So if you want to see that video, it will be linked down in the description box below for you to go check that out. And then in the next video after this one is going to be all of the bags, shoes, and accessories that are on trend. So keep an eye out for that one. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload. And let's get into these fashion trends. So just a little disclaimer, these trends are in no particular order. We're just gonna go down the list. So first up, I wanna talk about the micro mini skirt versus the maxi skirt. Juxtaposition. I talked about this in the last video. Fashion just has to contradict itself all the time. There's always a juxtaposition. We saw with the colors, it was black and then a light brown instead of a chocolate brown. And in the skirt sense or length sense, it is now a mini versus maxi. Now, mini skirts are not going anywhere. We saw them show up in this spring and summer with the Y2K trend, and they are here to stay, maybe even layering them over pants or over tights. But we are also seeing a huge influx in maxi skirts. We kind of talked about this in the last video with the 90s minimalism, just those straight kind of A-line maxi skirts. But keep an eye out for maxi length everything. Maxi dresses, maxi skirts, maxi jackets even. We'll get into that. But yeah, the mini and the maxi, those are the two you want to keep an eye out for. Obviously, people still love midi skirts, so keep an eye out for those as well, but just maybe be a little more picky with those. I know I am. One type of maxi skirt you really want to keep an eye out for, and this is just in my personal experience, is denim. Anytime I list a maxi denim skirt, it sells within hours. So definitely keep an eye out for those maxi denim skirts. Next on the list, we have low-rise cargo pants. Now, we saw a huge influx of low-rise again with the uptick in Y2K fashion, but now we are seeing specifically low-rise cargo pants. The cargo pants are back. This has a lot to do with Gorp Core, which we talked about in the last video. Anything that looks like utilitarian, seeing a lot of like military style pants, things, cargo pants. If it has a lot of pockets, get it. But we are specifically seeing these in low rise. I did see some in high rise as well. So if low rise is not your jam, obviously you don't have to participate in any of these. You can do whatever you want. This is just some inspiration for you. So getting a little more covered up, but also showing off a little more is the catsuit. So the catsuit was everywhere on the runway. We've seen it a lot on the red carpet, on celebrities, and in streetwear. This really reminds me of like the 80s, and you know how they had those like bodysuits that you would work out in. This also has to do a lot with the new Barbie movie as well, because her workout gear is kind of like a catsuit. So keep an eye out for those. They may be a little hard to come by in the thrift stores, but if you see one, definitely pick one up. Up next, we have corsets. Now, corsets have been a steady trend for a couple of years now, and they're not going anywhere. If anything, they're amping up, and we're seeing them even more in tons of different styles. The corset is a versatile piece. It pretty much covers any type of aesthetic, and it can be styled in any kind of way. So if you see a good corset, definitely vintage corsets. I love a good vintage corset. Pick that up. Another Y2K trend we're seeing coming back is the ruched bodycon dress. I'm having wet seal flashbacks. There's another store and I just cannot remember what it was called, but it had all bodycon dresses. And I can see the store, I can hear the music, I can feel the vibe, but I don't remember what it was called. It was one of those early 2000s stores in the mall. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, tell me down below. But I'm having more flashbacks. But yes, the ruched bodycon dress is back. We're seeing a lot of bodycon dresses actually coming back, but the one that has stood out the most and has been the most done is the ruched style. It's kind of romantic. It's kind of sexy. It's put it with a corset and it's even sexier. Another trend that we're seeing a lot of is cutouts. I've seen a lot of like cutout sweater dresses. So like some long maxi dresses with like different cutouts here and there. I've seen a lot of cutouts in like denim where it's like embroidered on the edge. It's not necessarily like holes. I mean, it is holes, but it's not your typical distressed holes. It's more polished. It's more intentional cutouts. So we're seeing a lot of little funky cutouts. This is one that's easily DIY-able if you have a crafty hand. I know this is something I really want to try my hand out, maybe with like a jean jacket. I've seen a couple denim jackets that have this look and I'm really excited to kind of dip my toe into it. I've even seen some blazers, so might do a blazer as well. Next up, we have transparent or see-through. This is absolutely everywhere. We're seeing a ton of layering pieces that are transparent. I saw a ton of streetwear that had these beautiful statement sheer pieces layered over an entire outfit. I have always loved this look. I love the like wearing a whole outfit, maybe like a white tank and jeans, and then having this super feminine, ruffly, see-through dress over the top of it. I think it just creates such a good look, such an interesting look, and sheer pieces are always fun to layer with, so keep an eye out for those. Next up, we have kind of a classic, comes back almost every fall and winter, and that is tweed. Tweed is just one of those things that will never go out of style. We always see it in the Chanel runway and the Chanel suits and Chanel suit inspired outfits. So definitely keep an eye out for the tweed, especially trousers. I've seen a lot of tweed trousers this season in street style. Another tried and true we have is velvet or velour. This is a nod back to the 90s. A lot of velour dresses were made in the 90s. A lot of velour blazers even I've seen a lot of. So keep an eye out for those. It's another one of those classics, but depending on how you style it, it can go many different ways. All right, so coming back to the early 2000s, we have the tie front cardigan. I love this. I didn't love it then, but I love it now. And the reason I love it now is the way we're styling it now is just wearing it as a top instead of like over, like in the early 2000s, we would wear it over like a tank top and it looked kind of tacky and I didn't love it. But I'm loving the simplicity of just wearing it as a top with like some jeans. It is so chic. It's giving laid back model off duty Parisian vibes and I'm obsessed with it. It just makes you look so subtly chic. It's like effortlessly chic and I love it. How many times can I say I love it? I love it. Another trend I'm loving is the roll neck sweater. Me personally, I am not a turtleneck person. It's too tight. I can't do it, but I do love a good like wider neck, kind of mock neck, little roll to the neckline. I love that. I just picked up a sweater a few weeks ago at the thrift store that has this style and I absolutely love it. I will be living in it all of fall. And I know I'm not the only one who doesn't love turtlenecks, so I can't be the only one who is excited about this trend. I actually never have a hard time finding like mock necks or rolled neck sweaters in the thrift store, so this one should be pretty easy to come across. I kind of talked about this next one already with the cutout trend, but I do want to bring it up again, and that is sweater dresses. Now, if you're like me and you grew up in the early 2000s, you were a teenager in the early 2000s, you remember sweater dresses well, and you remember the wide chunky belts we used to wear with them. That's not the kind of sweater dress I'm talking about. I'm talking like a maxi sweater dress. I'm talking about a chic sweater dress. This is a sweater dress, but all grown up. She's going to the city. She lives in a downtown New York apartment by herself. She buys her own lattes, you know? That's the kind of sweater dress I'm talking about, and honestly, I'm here for it. I didn't think I would want, I'm not a dress person. We all know this, not a dress person, but I think I could be a maxi sweater dress person. Maybe. I'm gonna pick one up and I'm gonna try it on and see how I feel about it. With some combat boots, I think that could be a look. And I mean, it's a whole sweater as an outfit. Like, you can't go wrong. You're just cozy all over. Like, why would I not like that, you know? Speaking of knits, we also have knit trousers. Now, I personally have not come across any knit trousers. Not lately. I think I have, like, in my lifetime, obviously, throughout my years and years of thrifting, but I haven't seen any lately. So I am going to be on the lookout for those. Again, who doesn't want to be covered in knit sweater fabric? It's just like wearing a blanket all day. I'm so here for this. Again, this may be a little harder to come across in the thrift stores, but if you do find them, pick them up. Next on the list, I kind of already touched on this as well with the maxi length, but we have long coats. No more are the short coats. We are going for a long coat, floor length coat, which I am here for. I love a long coat. I love a long coat. My mom, I think maybe some of it has to do with my mom like drilling it in my head that having a long coat is just a great idea because it covers your butt and you won't get as cold. That was just drilled into my brain as a child. So I have always loved long coats. I think they're just so chic and so good. And they're such a moment. Even Miss Anna Wintour herself was wearing one. So it has to be on trend, right? With the long coats, we are especially seeing a lot of faux fur and a lot of leather. So keep an eye out for those. Fur coats are actually pretty easy to find in thrift stores. Faux fur, a little bit harder because typically the vintage ones are usually real fur. My take on real fur is if you find it vintage, you find it secondhand, you're saving it from going to a landfill, you're giving it another life, the damage has already been done, so that is okay. Do not buy one from a designer. Do not buy one brand new. That's a no-no. But if you find it vintage or you find it secondhand, fur is fine, in my opinion. Don't come for me. Speaking of leather, we have this funky kind of leather trend going on. Obviously, leather always comes back for fall and winter, but this season we saw a ton of leather that was just done in a... Oh! Come back. I kicked the camera. So as I was saying, we're seeing leather done in a more fun, kind of funky way. I don't really know how to describe it. I'll just put some pictures of examples on the screen so you guys can get the idea. Usually, you know, we just have plain leather. It's either plain black leather or plain brown leather. Seeing a lot of brightly colored leather. We're seeing a lot of leather patching, which is very 90s grunge, also early 2000s. So we're getting a little more fun with the leather. So if you find some more interesting leather pieces, definitely pick those up. It can be jackets, coats, pants, shoes, all of the above. And we kind of already talked about this with the coats, but we are seeing a ton of statement coats. We've seen a lot of brightly colored coats, a lot of coats with prints on them, these wild patterns, even floral coats. So definitely keep an eye out for coats that are really just out of the ordinary, not your typical like black or brown or just, you know, kind of subtle. Keep an eye out for the ones that are a little more funky. And sticking on the coat train, I swear we're gonna get off of it soon, we have puffers. Now, puffers are everywhere, widely due to the popularity of Gorpcore, which we talked about in the last video. If you haven't seen that video, you better check it out because we're mixing stuff. You gotta watch all of them. But the puffer jacket, puffer vest, we're seeing puffer pants, we're seeing puffer boots. Puffer is everywhere. So if it's poofy, you better get it. This one kind of surprised me. We haven't seen this type of jacket in a while, and that is the bomber jacket. The bomber jacket used to be huge. It was literally everywhere, and now it has finally come back in a really cool way. We're seeing a lot of oversized bomber jackets. They're kind of more leaning athleisure, a little more statement. We're seeing some utilitarian ones with a lot of pockets on them. Again, this goes back to the Gorpcore aesthetic, and I'm loving this. I'm loving the new bomber jacket. It's giving very like members only as well, which I love. Next up is biker slash moto. Now I kind of talked about this in the last video with biker core. Like I said in that video, we're seeing a lot of like biker leather jackets, but we're also seeing a ton of motocross inspired jackets and pants, like the whole motocross outfit. Motocross was like a huge thing in the early 2000s. The Fox brand was absolutely everywhere and it is making a comeback. So definitely keep an eye out for those pieces and pick them up. The Harley Davidson trend didn't really go anywhere. It did kind of fade. It had a huge moment a few years ago and then it kind of like settled down a little bit. But I think with this new like moto kind of vibe going on, I think it's about to pick back up. So definitely keep an eye out for those pieces. Next up, we have monochrome outfits, and this is just where you wear one color and it can be all the same shade, it can be different shades, but it's all the same color on your entire outfit. We saw a ton of all black outfits on the runway this season, but we also have the other side of that, again, the juxtaposition of bright colors. Last fall and winter, we had a resurgence in bright colors and it is happening again this season and I don't think it's going anywhere. We have now what is called dopamine dressing, where everybody's just we're chasing the dopamine, let's be honest. We're living in a world that is on fire and we need some joy. So that's where these bright colors have come from these past couple of seasons. I think everybody just wants to feel happy and feel something. So we're doing dopamine dressing. We're getting out those funky pieces, those novelty pieces, a lot of like novelty kitsch kind of stuff going on in styling this season, and also those bright colors. And last but not least, we have corporate tailored meets sportswear. I've seen a ton of these really put together corporate kind of tailored looks paired with sneakers and ball caps and fanny packs and kind of giving like an 80s sports club kind of vibe, but mixed with like corporate styling. And I actually really love this look. I love wearing like a blazer with sneakers. I think it's such a chic look. Really takes the stuffiness takes the stuffiness out of a suit. Some good old sneakers and a fanny pack. Love. I would live in that outfit forever. Alrighty, so that does it for the overall fashion trends for fall and winter 2022. If I missed any, please feel free to leave those down in the comments below. I'm sure I've missed at least a couple. There were a ton, and we still have even more to go. Next video is going to be all about shoes, accessories, and bags, and then the video after that, we're going to be touching on men's fashion trends. So stay tuned for those videos. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite trend has been so far. What trends are you excited about? I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.